Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sync 24 TV, Nationalist Show. I'm your host and analyst, Kennedy Abongo. The topic of today: what is Raila Odinga'S plan going forward? Well, we may not know the actual plan, but we can glean from his statement that he released just uh, before the inauguration of President Ruto, declining the invitation to have him attend that event. President Ruto had invited him to attend the event and he declined, stating one, that the election was not free and fair, the election conducted by IEBC was not free and fair, and then secondly, that the decision by the Supreme Court was again not based on facts and the law, and therefore to him the election results remain indeterminate, which means he does not recognize the outcome of the election and he does not recognize the results as announced by IEBC. So it would essentially also mean that he does not recognize President Ruto as having been validly elected as the president of Kenya. So that may not be really neither here nor there, the fact that he does not recognize the results or he does not recognize President Ruto as having been validly elected, but it points to a person who intends to come back and organize himself to push even for more changes. So before we go so deep into this analysis, kindly subscribe, click that notification bell so that you are notified whenever we post. I believe you have. So what is his plan? Having gone out, then the plan is clear. If you read that letter, he's saying that when he comes back, then he'll meet with Azimio or One Kenya leaders so that they can, find a way and give people direction. So this letter, when it came out, was intended to prepare Azimio supporters generally that the fight is not over. So we may have lost the presidency, we may have lost the petition in court, but the fight is not over, because those are not the only avenues for political fights. So the fight that is going to go on, it will be based on now policy and how or maybe the structure of governance of our country. And I believe that would involve also pushing probably for a change of the constitution. I think it is going to be very, very central in that discussion which they'll have with Azimio or La Umoja leadership on how they can revive their push for the constitution. And I'm saying this because if you saw the tweet by Makau Mutua, he painted a picture of Kenya with all of it blue. We had formerly 8 regions, and now we have Ruto only winning in 2 regions, that is Rift Valley. You see, just Rift Valley, a very small region. So I don't know whether that is intended to prepare us for a proposal where we are going now to they want to push for some sort of electoral college, people voting like in the US, so that when somebody wins in a particular region, you take all the electoral votes in that particular area. Because, and I suspect that would be one of really central discussions that they are going to have in that leadership. And there is going to be a push for the change of the constitution and the structure of governance. And this does not mean that Raila Odinga is going to prepare himself or is preparing himself to run again for the presidency, but it is just to keep the government busy so that they lose track of what they need to do. So if you're kept busy with all attacks from both sides, then sometimes you lose track. You become now focused on defending yourself rather than delivering to the people. So, and I think this is partly, as we said in one of our videos, that it is partly why President Ruto decided to, give President Kenyatta the regional job so that he may continue to have or to work in this regional peacekeeping mission, and not have him in Kenya where he would be a bit he would not have anything to do, and therefore risk actively participating, having him actively participating in the politics of the day. I don't think Ruto would really want that. Is he prepared for Raila Odinga's onslaught? Another thing, I think, yes, he is prepared, and I think it's going to be a very uh, difficult war for both parties. But there is something that I've learned about President Trudeau. He's noted the problems, and as I've said, the challenges that faced the previous administration, he seeks to avoid all these problems. He seeks to have a more uh, inclusive approach in his administration. And this we will see, because in every step that is taken so far, he's been surprising people. Everything that he had promised that he was going to do, he's done them so far. So there is a bit of appointing ministers. So we are eagerly awaiting to see how he's going to make his appointments. And I believe these are intended to also help him fight this tag. He would want to appear as the president of all Kenyans at this stage and time, because that would make your work easier. You gain the confidence of the people, so that when somebody tries to now attack your government, the people themselves will protect you. You won't need to protect your own government. The people themselves will protect you. So that is why you see him do a lot of these things that make the people so proud of him. You know, things like which we discussed again about appointing of those judges, reverting the port of Mombasa, the port of Naivasha, or back to Mombasa. You see, these things are intended to endear him to the general public from across the country. So, because these ones are quite easy, but it is important, because the overall impact of them is that he gains the confidence of the people, because he promised these things and he's just started delivering on them. So when Right Honorable Raila Odinga comes back, as I believe he will, he's going to find a person who is readily prepared to also take him on when that time will eventually come. Politics, my friend, has just begun. What we were doing at other times, those were campaigns. Politics has just begun. And as I say, this script this time round was written by President Ruto. He's the only one who knows the end. None else knows. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Till next time.